Hey everybody, it's Lynn Meyer here, the HRT coach, which stands for Healing, Restoration, and Transformation. Today, again, we are talking about what men cry in the car podcast. Yay! Episode 9. I'm so excited. You guys, this has been such a thrilling ride. It has been awesome. It has like the feedback is crazy, stupid, amazing, like all the adjectives, right? But I need you to do a couple of things. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe and I need you to comment. Like, what are y'all doing? Come on, we need to know. We need to know what's going on. But today, so you see my energy? Okay. My guest today is matching this energy, probably going to give you even more. But I have a Devin Johnson. Okay. I don't know if y'all know about when people perform. This is an artiste, honey. Okay. We're talking about a performer, we're talking about an actor, we're talking about all the things. But I do want to say this one thing. I met Devin, I think last year at a theater, and we don't have to give you that. But I saw him and I said, there's something about you. I think we need to keep in contact. And we did. And so Devin is here to talk about all the things, you guys. All right, let's bring on Devin Johnson. Hey, there
Hey!
you are. There you are.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, yay.
I'm
This is gonna
excited
be fun.
too. So,
Mhm.
Devin, please tell the people who you are, why you here, why they need to get to know you. Go.
That's a wonderful question. I love this already. Hi, I'm Devin Johnson, and um I am an artist. I'm an artist, and I love uh the arts in every way. I love singing, I love dancing, I love acting. I just got done with a production uh at a theater. And so I loved that and it was fun and uh that's me. And then I'm also going on this journey of one, self-discovery, and two, self-healing. And I'm learning different things about myself. I've just learned some things about myself actually. So that's where I'm at right now, and get to know me because I'm actually, I could actually say this. I actually feel like I'm going to places, but it's like I feel like sometimes I can't say that because I feel like it's not humble, and so I was just like, ah! But I trust and believe in God, and I also trust and believe in therapy and the wonderful magical powers of science of adding dopamine into your brain. And so that's what I am right now. And to also talk to you, Lynn, like
Yeah.
a life coach, oh my God, I want to do that. And so that's why I want to do my art. I want to be able to heal people through it. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you said a couple of things, and so I'm gonna bring it out. So
Mm,
you had mentioned I'm going places, but I really don't want to say that.
mhm.
Talk to us about a feeling where when you didn't feel like you were going places, where you felt like you had to keep things to yourself, where you felt like you couldn't express yourself, or no one would understand you, or feel you, or understand you. Share that with us, please.
Are you trying to talk about my whole life? I girl, no, because it took a really big thing for me to say that right now. Because I always felt like I have to stay humble. We can't. I felt like I was not able to out of my mouth say, "Hey, I am going to places. Hey, I am this. Hey, I am that. I'm all that." But it's like, even me saying that, it's just like I'm just saying it. Do I believe it? That's a whole different story. And so when ever since I was growing up, I was just like, maybe I don't need to say that. I need to be able to be humble. I always was in the church, we always talk about like, being humble and humble yourself with people and with everybody else and with God. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to, say all these, compliments about me. That's why it's weird for me to get compliments now. I just like I can't accept that because it's like that's too much. That's not me. But I'm learning now like you can accept compliments and you can also be humble at the same time. Two things can live at the same time at once. And so two things can be true at the same time. And so I'm learning that right now. Life is a spectrum. And I think people always see things. I just did that right now. People seldomly see things as with a little bit of gray and add some color to their life. People, see black and white. And so I'm like, that's not me. Mm-mm. But yeah. What about you? I'm sorry, can I ask you questions?
Absolutely. You can ask me questions. It's no
Yeah.
problem. You can
What
ask me
about
questions.
you?
I would say, of course, there was a time where I didn't feel supported by family, by friends, by
Hmm.
anyone. And that's why I kept them at arm's length,
Yeah.
probably longer than arm's length, maybe like a whole football field.
Yeah.
Because I didn't trust people, because I didn't trust myself.
Yes.
And then I got with a man that actually felt the same way as me, and then I became a safe space for him.
Wow.
Hence me and crying in the car, because again, he's my muse for this whole situation. So just knowing that I grew up in not allowing true support, guidance, love, acceptance, any of those from
Hmm.
anyone, because I couldn't do it for myself.
Mm.
Maybe that's where
So,
we need to go. Maybe that's where we need to go. Because I
oh,
couldn't do
but
it for myself. I didn't want anyone else to do it for me.
mhm.
Because I didn't trust that.
You didn't trust yourself, like not being able to do some of the things. Is that
Yeah,
what
I
it
didn't trust
is?
myself to receive the love, the support, all the things that I was wanting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask you this:
Oh, that's so
tell,
good.
tell me of a time where you needed support, you desired the love, you desired to be accepted and seen, and it wasn't. You didn't receive that. Tell us about that time, because I know you have.
Oh, I have plenty. Um, Well, I did not accept the love and I did not receive it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I recently found out that about this golden rule: love yourself as love your neighbor as you love yourself. And sometimes people don't really love themselves, so it's hard for them to love a neighbor when they don't know love at all. And so there was a time in my life, I'm just gonna be very vague, uh, where there were some people who uh, weren't showing me the love, genuine love. I thought it was superficial. And so with me, my whole entire life, I wanted to be accepted. And so that's been my biggest thing of what I wanted to do was acceptance, love, and I wanted to feel like I was wanted in a space. And I just found that out recently doing some unpacking. But I then so with them, I was always with them and all that stuff. But I it was one time where I did something and they did not like it at all, and so they were just would talk about me, would bring me down. Um, it's like nowhere I could win, nowhere I could be happy, and I try to do my best of like making myself feel accepted, and that was a hard time because I had to put down the real me and pick up the idea or the expectations for them, so in order for me to be loved. And I think I always had to do that, really, to be honest. I felt like I always had to put down this idea of who I am, or this I put down this idea of who myself, of who I wanted to be, and had to be the person that other people wanted me to be. And I think that's also why I like performing. It's kind of
Mhm.
an escapism, which I also learned unpacking with therapy.
Mhm.
it's it's a way of a coping mechanism for me to do, for me to escape, for me to feel like this is actually good for me, and it helps me. But however, it's a helping or harming, so it's just one of those
Mhm.
things.
Mhm. So I just want people to know that it's difficult being on a podcast. It's difficult to be asked questions. It's difficult to open up and be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to know you're doing a great job.
Oh,
Um,
child. I hope I am.
you're doing a great job. Um, I also want to know, how difficult is it for you to receive support from someone that you feel that is genuinely caring about you, genuinely like receiving you, accepting you, like taking you all in? Like, how difficult is that, receiving that type of support, when it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, when it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you didn't have that in the beginning?
It feels different, out of worldly, if I could say that. I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know if that's the right word. But it feels like this is a whole new space for me to navigate. And it's sometimes the unhealthy beliefs or the unhealthy behaviors come out. and it's just like, it's hard for me to accept that. It's hard for me to accept, oh no, this is not real. You're not real. You're not the person that actually want to help me. Because going back to what we were talking about, it's hard to trust people. It's hard for us, well, hard for me to really it's hard for me to really believe people want to actually do well and actually want to do good by me. And so that's where I'm at. But however, I'm learning that it's more good than bad in the world, and more people are actually genuinely really want to help others than but however, in our brain we think about more of the bad things first than we think about the good. And so it's hard, but I'm learning and unlearning how to accept it. But yeah, that's a long answer, long short answer.
I heard, you know what I heard? I
Mm-hmm.
heard that trauma is real.
Oh.
And it's hard for people to understand that trauma is real, because I'm functioning in a place where I feel so dysfunctional and
Mm-hmm.
dysregulated.
Mm-hmm.
And you expect me to accept all this love that you have from you? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's just talk about you and I. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know, like, when you met me, I don't know what you thought. I don't know if you thought like, oh, who is this lady? Who is this whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you picked up on the energy that I was giving you.
Yeah.
And if you did, maybe that was difficult too. It's like, oh, who is she?
Right.
This is light. I don't know if I experienced this light before. Because when people experience me, it's like they think I'm not real. I'm not genuine.
Hmm.
And if you're speaking from a place of trauma or pain or wounds or whatever we want to call them today,
Mm-hmm.
it is difficult to accept somebody like me. So that's why I asked the question, like, how is it like with you receiving support from people when they genuinely like really care about you and they want to see you do well? Because
Well,
that's hard.
the thing is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But the thing is, going back to what you were saying, trauma distorts the vision. And so whenever we all have this perspective of the world, and we all go through something. We all have some type of trauma in the world. If it's not, if we haven't actually been through trauma, we have some type of generational trauma that we are working through. And so we are operating and behaving from a lens of that trauma. And we do some of the things that we do. That's why going to therapy is really important. Talking to somebody is really important. And talk to somebody who is a licensed therapist, a licensed professional who knows what they're doing is very important, because these people can help help navigate you and guide you to the way of healing and healing, restoration, and transformation. That's what, these therapists are licensed, life coach and people like that um, who have gone through these, who have gone through trauma and healed enough and know enough where they can adequately help other people. And so that's also why I think the world is in a lens of trauma, going back to slavery, going back to oppression, still living within oppression. It's just we're operating on the defense, and that's why I feel like right now. That's why we have so much outrage,
Yeah,
because
I think
like
so.
you're trying to hurt me. And it's like, no, I just don't know what I'm doing. And I think a lot of people just don't know what they're doing. And I think a lot of people are afraid to say they don't know what they're doing.
That's a very good point. Because you don't feel safe to share your feelings, your thoughts. So let's go back. Let's go back to let's just go back. So when you don't feel safe, do you feel safe crying in the proverbial car? Like, where do you feel safe to share your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts? Where do you feel safe?
On a pillow. The thing is, I have not even cried in front of my therapist. I've been sad in front of my therapist. I have said some very disheartening and heartbroken things to my therapist, but I have not. I I feel good crying. I've cried in the car once. I cried in front of my mom and my sister, and also crying at funerals. But like, other than that, people, friends, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And the thing is, why don't you feel comfortable? And I don't know. I don't know if I want to use a why question, because why questions are very complicated. But what makes me feel unsafe to cry in front of people? And I think I don't
That's
know.
the question. That's the question. That's the question for every single person, especially men. What is it that makes me not feel safe to cry, to show emotions, to be vulnerable, to be transparent? That's the answer we want.
Yeah. And
What
I
answer
think,
would you have for us?
baby, I don't know. But the thing is, okay, let's dig deep. What is a safe place for Black people? What is something safe for Black people to be in? Where's a safe place for Black people? Where is it? Where's a safe place for Black queer people? Where's a safe space for Black disabled people? Where's a safe space for Black old people, Black women, Black men? Where is this? Where is the space?
Talk about it. Let's go. Let's go.
Where is it? Because I looked high and low. Couldn't find it. Oh my God, that's so funny.
That is a question, but then that's the reason why spaces like this need to be created.
Yes. Yes.
That's why.
That's why. And
We
you
have to
are,
create our own
I'm happy.
spaces.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No. What were you saying? Yeah.
No, I was saying we have to create our own spaces. We do.
But the thing is, when we create our own spaces, it also still gets diluted with some of the white ideology are some of these really unhealthy ideas. And it's like, how can we uproot that? How can we get rid of that? And that's hard, because people have to be willing. Well, I don't want to say have to, but it'll be beneficial for people to be willing to want to change. How do you get people to change?
Absolutely. So I have a question over here. It says, and I think we talked about it, but I'll ask again. So who can you feel vulnerable with?
Me personally?
Yes.
Oh, um, hmm. Really, my mom, my sister, and myself, and honestly, my therapist. But I'm learning more each and every day, and I'm learning right now that vulnerability is very, very important and beneficial to you and your life. You what people do with it, that's their business. That's on them. But for you and your mental health and your growth, for your growth, yeah, I would say yeah. Yeah, that's what I would say. My family are and be vulnerable more. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's hard, easier said than done.
It is extremely easier said than done. I remember when I first started healing 2000, the year 2000, but then I
Oh wow.
really started jumping in like 2002.
Oh wow.
And it was difficult. So
Oh.
then, so like when I ask
Mhm.
people these questions, I'm not asking, to be like facetious or to be like
Mm-mm.
mean or ugly. I'm asking because I really want to know, because I know it was a journey for me.
Mhm.
So when I look at that, and I also know there's freedom in telling the truth. I'm gonna share this with you. So I
Okay,
did
I
a,
love
I
that.
did a video on TikTok,
Mhm.
and on my video, I said I used to be a lesbian, and then I said, now before you come into my live or on my video telling everyone I
Oh,
used to
I
be
love
lesbian,
that.
I was like, don't do it,
Mhm.
don't do it.
Mhm.
But this is me, 2024.
Mhm.
I would not have said that 2000
Mm. Yeah.
because I didn't feel safe.
Hmm. What do you
I
mean?
had to learn how to get into that space of feeling safe because I had to feel safe within myself. So I guess
Mm.
that's my question for you. Is that the reason why, or do you think that's the reason you became vulnerable with your mom, your sister, your therapist, because you started feeling safe within yourself first and then finding yourself feeling safe with them?
Yeah, it really does. It works inside out. That's how I feel. Like the movie. It really honestly happens on the inside and it comes out in how you behave. And so that's why you see all these people uh doing, I don't want to name anything, but like that's why you see different types of people in the world. How about that? I'm trying to be diplomatic right now. But you see different types of people in the world who don't have the same behaviors as you and me. And they only do that because they're hurting and they don't trust themselves and they don't trust people. 9 times out of 10, people really just don't trust themselves. But I'm learning to trust myself more and more each day. Sometimes I miss it, but sometimes I really do. Like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Okay, this is why I need to trust myself more. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. People, I think this is just my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that because I didn't trust myself. But I also
Mm-hmm.
feel like people can't trust or won't allow themselves to trust because they don't see themselves in others.
Yeah.
This is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
People pretend so much.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody acts like, oh, I'm so good. I'm so this, nothing's
Yeah.
wrong, everything's great. And if I'm hurting,
Mm-hmm.
and if I see you pretending or I don't know you're pretending and I'm thinking everything is okay with you,
Mm-hmm.
then I can't share myself because I'm thinking, well, you have everything together. How do I bring my whatever going on with me to you when you are showing me that everything is awesome, everything is cool?
I love that.
How?
Everything
How?
is awesome. Yeah.
You know, how?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question now is, did your mom ever show you that she was a safe space for you? Like not did she? How did she show that she was a safe space for you?
Mm.
And also how did your sister or your therapist, just whichever one you want to talk about, like how did they show you that you could be safe with them?
I'll try to find commonality with everyone. Oh, and also I want to tell my godmother. She's also good too. My godmother's also in therapy right now, so that's what I love her, godmother Dawn. Um, the commonality with all of them uh was they first was vulnerable with me too, and they felt like they can trust me, and that was really big. And also they just showed me that um hmm, all of them showed me a different way to be vulnerable. They all showed me different ways for me to be for me to trust them and for them to trust me. And it's kind of reciprocal in a way. And I think that's yeah. Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah. That's what I
Mhm.
think. Well, what
Mhm.
about you? Like, how'd you get to a place where you can feel vulnerable with other people? And also going back to what you were saying, I'm sorry, I have ADHD, so I'm like jumping around. I was thinking about the four agreements, and looking at one of the things was don't assume. And it's like I do a lot of that. I've noticed I do a lot of that, and I notice I take a lot of things personal. That's another agreement, not to take things personal, and also be impeccable with your words, but and also try do your best. But how did you get to a place where one, what I see is not what I actually see, and also two, how did you uh and what you see is not what you see, and how could you feel vulnerable with the people that you can feel vulnerable with? Like, how did you get to the place where you can do that? I kind
So
of gave
I'm
you
going
two.
to
I'm
answer.
sorry.
No, no, no. I'm going to answer this, and then I want you to answer it for yourself as well.
Oh yay. Okay.
I started healing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I started exposing. Scratch that.
Mm,
I started exposing what happened to me in my experiences in my past in
mm-hmm.
order for me to heal.
Mm.
That's
Wow.
it. That's exactly what I
Wow.
started doing. I stopped sweeping things under the rug. I stopped putting things in the closet. I stopped doing like acting like nothing was wrong. I started exposing all those things that were hurting me
Oh
on the
wow.
inside in order for me to heal. That's how it started.
Hmm. That
And
is that is
you,
beautiful. That is so beautiful. Wow. That makes sense.
hmm
That makes sense.
yeah.
Wow, I just had like a epiphany. Uh
What about you?
um I started just being not only truthful but unapologetic, because um this idea of me that I want other people to love me, and I want other people to see this idea of this is who I am. It wasn't working out. It was making me unhappy, and I was mad and I was upset, and I have resentment for everyone, because I was like, well, why can't uh I don't know, why can't I just be me? And I have to learn within myself that you can be you, and people are not going to like it. And I think that's the problem with me. I'm a people pleaser, and I want to please people so bad. I want people to love and accept me, but I think the problem comes when you try to find acceptance with people who change their minds like underwear. So it's one day they might accept you, one day they might not, and it's just like you can't build something that is so unstable. And so I think that's where I was at. That's where I was like, okay, I could be vulnerable within me, because I'm doing this for me. If you think about it like that, I'm trying to be vulnerable for me, and not
hmm
trying to be vulnerable for you. This
hmm
is how I feel. And going back to where you were saying you start exposing things, not sweep things on the rug. Who you sweeping the under rug for? Who is that for? And so I love that. That was good.
Correct.
That was good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How important do you think it is for a man to share his thoughts, his feelings, his emotions?
Very. It's very, very important for them to do that. But I think what happens is the notion of men don't cry, that very toxic behavior, and the toxic ideology of men not being able to cry. Where did that come from? Who said that? That's what I want to know. And in what situations can men not be able to show emotions? Because if you're telling a person not to cry, you are shutting down an emotion that they uh that it will be beneficial later on in their life for them to feel. And for you to have emotional stability, emotional balance, and a healthy emotions and mental health. Honestly, what I found out after going to therapy and all that stuff, going to therapy and going to psychiatrists, and doing the work, actually doing the work, not just going just to go, not just going to say I went, but doing the work, picking up the tools and doing the different tools that I still use. It really makes a difference with life. There are some moments recently in life where people are like, I didn't like how they did that. I'm just like, well, maybe this happened, or maybe this is going on. So I can't really judge them on where they're at, because I would have done the same thing if I would have known what they know. And so it helps me to see the grace in people. And so that's where I think men are very resentful right now. I think that's what's going on. They're very resentful. They're very sad, and they are in a place where they are at their wits' end, and they don't know who they can depend on, because they feel like everybody needs to depend on them. But it's like, we can't depend on a broken ship, babes. You need to get fixed. You need to get fixed in order for us to really make it through. So, yeah.
For sure. For sure. So I just want to ask this. You talked about like the importance of sharing your feelings and emotions and all of that. If you are able to, tell me like what was the turning point when you kind of like kept your feelings to yourself, kept the emotions to yourself, and now you are open to share and being who you are and just like being like authentic and dope and all those things. Like, what was the turning point? Like, what was that thing? What was the turning point for you?
The turning point for me, I was, I had the worst anxiety attack. I had the worst anxiety attack. I was crying. Snot came out of my face. Shout out to LaFonda. Her name's Lovey. She lives in the same building as me. And I just went to her. I saw her and I just burst into tears, because I was like, I just want to die. I just don't want to be here in life anymore. Like, oh, I don't know what tipped it over for me. This probably was just things piling up from years and years of just trauma, sexual abuse, mental health trauma, all those things. And I just try to kept it inside. I try to put on my face, my acting face, try to smile. And because people will be around you if you smile a lot, people will love you around if you make them feel good. But however, I was slowly dying each and every day. And it was one time I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I just burst into tears. I was so angry with everybody. I was mad with people. I would it was sometimes where I see people in the elevator, and they would say something, and I would just like say something like a very snooty remark, and I was just like, "Huh, you don't have to do that. You don't have to live like that." And I was talking to her, and I was talking to LaFonda, and I was just crying and weeping and all that stuff, and she was just like, what's going on? Like, what is it? And it was like after I got through crying, I just started laughing out of nowhere. And I was just like, what is this? It scared me a little bit. I was just like, I need to talk to somebody. Maybe I need to talk to someone. And so it was just so strange. And I was just like, okay, I needed something's in me, something inside of me where I am one, probably not acknowledging, and two, I am avoiding, and I don't want to feel this feeling. But what if I do? What if I feel it? What could happen? And so that was the turning point of me. It was the what ifs, and it was the anxiety attack. And I did not know how bad they are. Anxiety attacks are rough. I felt like I was dying. Like legit. Like legit. I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I might call the police or something, call 911. Like, I was like, I don't have no breath in my lungs. But I was like, oh, this is an anxiety attack. I was like, I was trying to like really like I put my hand on my chest and I put on my stomach, and I was just like, what's going on with me? I was like, I know this is not normal. And I was like, I'm having an anxiety attack. I am having an anxiety attack. And it was the thing of depression and anxiety at the same time, which I know they sometimes they work together, sometimes they don't. But I have both. So it was that sort of thing. That was a really turning point.
And so this is what I want to know, because you are
Mm-hmm.
a Black young man. How important do you think for Black men to get therapy, to get help, to seek some type of support in that way?
Um, if you're a Black man and you don't have a therapist, run to a Black woman therapist. They will help you. And if not a Black woman therapist, go to somebody of color. And if you can't find nobody of color, um, and you can't find another Black man to talk to, that's a licensed therapist. Find anybody to talk to that is licensed, because you will uncover some things that you did not know that was inside of you. It is so important, because when you go to therapy, I believe therapists are gifted with the things. Uh, they're gifted with being able to see different possibilities in different size, different perspectives, and sometimes we are limited by our perspectives, which is not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a thing in life. When people talk to me about Germany, I was like, okay, cool. And I don't know anything about Germany, babes. I'm from Mesquite, Texas, and so there's only things I wouldn't know about that. But however, somebody in Germany, they can tell me more things about Germany, and I can learn so much stuff about that, and I can incorporate that while I'm living in Texas and seeing the different ways of how people live. So going back to that, going to a therapist, they know different cases, different studies, different mindsets, different ideas of like, okay, well, maybe have you thought about this? Have you looked at this? Different perspectives. And I believe it can really help black men with that idea of knowing like, hey, you know, uh sorry, of knowing, hey, this is something new for me, and I can learn it, and I can unlearn some things that I learned from my family or parents or even people that they grew up with. And so it really helps. Going to therapy really helps a lot. But
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I
And
have a question.
you're not crazy when I have a question over here. Someone asked you a
Oh,
question.
okay.
No one, and you're not crazy because you don't go to therapy. You're not crazy because
Mm-mm.
you
No.
need to go to therapy. Like,
Mm-mm.
no, we're gonna stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a question for you, Devin. It says, how do you handle pressure when it seems overwhelming?
Ooh, I do. I do with my therapist tools. One, I do breathing exercises. I do that. And also I do the 5 4 3 2 1 tool is for mindfulness. I believe you might know know that, Lynn. The is I think might be DBT or it might be CBT, where you do the five senses and you see, you do your sight, nose, hearing, uh, touch, and taste. And so you do all that so in order for you to be in the moment. And so that is, I don't know if the moment is the right word for me to use, but I would say it helps you. When I think about pressure, mostly I'm having like more of anxiety, or I don't really think of pressure with depression, but we can look at it from both ways too. But whenever I'm having anxiety, I'm thinking about things that is far ahead, which I can bring all that back into the moment because I can only work on what's happening right now. I can only do something that's happening right now. And so yeah, that's the tools that I use.
I use those with my clients all the time too.
Ah.
Because people forget that they can self-soothe,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
without using alcohol, drugs, sex, anything. Like you can self-soothe with your five senses.
Mm-hmm.
Like a weighted blanket, soft, comfy socks, drinking water. Like there's so many
Oh
ways to self
yes.
five senses, and I love that. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
I want to ask you, oh, hold on. You got
can
another
I
question? Hold
no,
on.
I
Go ahead.
have another question. I was just saying, now for the black men who I do want to say this, for the black men who don't have therapists, I don't know if I probably what I said, I apologize if I said that, if y'all are crazy or all this stuff. No, you're not crazy. And you're just doing the best you can. But however, there are ways for healing, and you don't have to live the life that you're living if you are always if you're going through, I don't want to say always, if you're going through some hard things, hard times and all that stuff, you need somebody to talk to, find somebody to talk to. But a licensed therapist will be really good for you. Okay. I want to say that. Sorry.
Okay. So I think you kind of answered this, but I'll ask it again. It says, when did you finally come to the choice of wanting to seek professional help?
Uh, the anxiety attack. I did not know what was going on. I did not know that I can have an anxiety attack. I didn't know because I was like, I'm black. I can't do that. But anxiety attack comes in many different ways. It comes it really does, like my anxiety attack, the meltdown, all those things. And I was just like, wow. I was like, she was like, what's going on? I was like, it's just me. I'm just horrible. And I was just like, why am I saying those things? And it's that idea. I wanted to seek help because I wanted to live a better life than how I'm living right now. I felt like I know I didn't have to live like this. I can live another way, and that's why I went to go seek help. So for something
And I'm
different.
glad you did. Yeah, I'm glad you did. So there have been people coming onto the live, sending you love, sending you support, asking
Really?
questions, proud of you.
Oh,
I just want you to know that I didn't want you to not know that that was going on behind the scenes. Um,
oh.
but
I
one
can't see
question
anything.
I know for some reason I don't know, but you can see it after.
Okay, yay.
What is something that you feel like I asked this question to every guest that comes on, but I try to switch it up each time.
Oh, switch it
What
up.
is something that you feel that a young male, because you're not millennial, are you? Are you Gen Z?
I'm Gen Z. 1997.
Okay, okay, Gen Z. Okay,
Mm.
talk to the Gen Z
Oh.
young man. Okay, talk to
Okay.
that young male that may be queer, that may not be queer. Like, talk to him because he needs to hear something from you. Talk
Hmm.
to him. He needs to hear it.
Hmm.
What would you say to him?
Ooh, that's hard. Okay. What would I say to what do I say to myself? Honestly, you do not know how life is going to go. You do not know everything about life, which thank God you don't know everything about life. You're doing the best you can, and there is you know more than what you think you do. There's answers around if you look for it. But however, sometimes you might not get the answers you want, and that's okay. You just live and you keep going. You will fall, of course. You're not perfect. Ugh, you're not perfect at all. And live in the moment because you can't get a moment back. So live in the moment that you're in right now and be grateful. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude goes a long way. That's what I would say.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, somebody's gonna see it. Someone's gonna see it, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, he's my age. Oh my God, he reminds me of me," and they need to hear that. They do. What is one thing before we get off? What is one thing
We
you
about to
feel
get
like?
off?
Yeah, we are. Everything's good.
What?
We are. We
Oh
are.
my
Um,
god, no!
time.
Honestly. Oh,
What
that's
is one
hilarious.
thing you feel like you need to say when it comes to men crying in the car? Because when we talk about this, we want to get the men out of the car. That's the reason why we're doing this. We want to get the men
Mm.
out of the car. We know you
Hmm.
feel safe there. We know you feel safe in the shower. We know you feel safe in all those places that you find solitude.
Hmm.
Okay, we know
Hmm.
that. We want to get you out of those places in order for
Hmm.
you to start sharing your feelings and emotions everywhere, wherever you feel safe.
Hmm.
So, what is the one thing that you feel like you needed to say right now that I did not ask you, but it's like burning, like a burning desire to say that
Hmm.
one? What is that?
I think it will be more of a question that they need to answer on their own. It's what makes a car, what makes that solitude, um what makes being alone with yourself a safe place? What makes crying in a car better than crying with someone that you love, like your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, sister, mom, whoever? What makes that better than other people? We're not made to live alone. We we go through this world with somebody. So if you can't find anybody, what makes you the safe person, and why cry in the car? You can go to someone else.
Hmm. Okay.
I can't really. I want to say, cry in front of people, do that, but I think
Hmm.
the reason for therapy is for you to do the work, and I think you got to figure out what makes you do that. What why What makes you not vulnerable with other people? Where's the lack? Is it community lack? Is it self esteem lack? Is it I don't know. I think you gotta do some deep digging. And I think you start there and keep unpacking.
Mhm. Mhm. I think that's great because as I said before, we want you out of this car. We want you. Now we
Mm-hmm.
want you to come on and talk to us and share all the feelings, but you know me,
Come
y'all
on
know
in the
y'all
room.
know me. I'm all about the healing. Where
Right.
can we get you to get you
Right.
out of that space where you can feel safe in other spaces?
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, a lot of times we do feel safe where we are protected and we're alone and no one can see us, no one can judge us and all that. But I don't find healing in that for a duration. For a temporary, yes, but not for a duration. So,
And the thing
Devin,
is, I'm sorry, can I say one
no,
more
go ahead.
thing?
Uh
And the
huh.
thing is the idea of if you fish for somebody, they can only eat for a day. If you teach them how to fish, they will never go hungry. So same thing that goes with therapy, goes with talking to someone, goes with healing, restoration, and transformation. All right, I'll shut up for the rest of the time.
No, I was gonna say, I want you to also like if there's any events coming up that you're into, that you're a part of, like let the people know. Like people watch us in all the states. So it's not just like they're here. Like tell us where we can find you. Tell us the next big thing you're doing, your next show, because I would definitely like to come support you. And you don't know who would come support you either. So let us know.
Mhm. I would love to let you know. I don't have anything right now. I think I'm taking a break. I'm break right now. There's some things personally that I did talk to you about that I'm trying to accomplish right now, and so, however, if I do have anything, you can always find me on Instagram. Oh wow, I'm that person. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Uh, yeah, it's Facebook is Devin Johnson. Instagram, Devin underscore J 1997. I'm sorry, Devin underscore J 97. J with two Y's. Um, and that's it. I'm learning how to heal. I'm trying to restore and trying to transform my mind. And so, yeah, I just love you.
I love you too. I know everybody was like, why they're so giggly? Because mind your business.
Okay,
Okay.
mind your
Your
business.
business. Okay. No.
Mind your business.
Because Devin and I have like this energy. And so that's just what we do. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna not be ourselves just because we're
Right.
doing this podcast. So but
Okay.
anyway. Devin, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for being a guest. Thank you for being vulnerable,
Hmm.
sharing your experience with us, like just all the things. I really appreciate you for that.
Oh.
Y'all check out Devin on Instagram. He already told you that, and Facebook. Follow him. Because you know he will be in the lights, okay? His name will be in the lights, okay?
Oh my God. Oh, I love you so
But
much.
Devin, don't leave. Don't leave. I want to talk to you, okay?
Per, I love that. Thank you.
Okay, so everyone, I just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for asking your questions. Please go over to YouTube under Healing, Restoration, and Transformation. Subscribe. This is where the Men Cry in the Car podcast is like, what is it? Held. It's there. That's the hub for it. Whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Share it. Let people know. Let all the men in your life that you know, brother, husband, cousins, whatever, share this out because more men need to come on. More men need to express their feelings, and we're talking about all the feelings and emotions, but we're also talking about how do we get out of that car. Okay. Yes, this is something that I created, but this is something that you guys will make it flourish. So again, I see you, I hear you, and I support you. Until next time, talk to you soon.